What's going on, everybody? Welcome in to another episode of the Fantasy Football Show. It's first day of October, baby. We are in full swing of the NFL season. October 1st, 2021. Episode number 22 of the Fantasy Football Show. Heck yeah, dude. In this episode, we're going to be breaking down the news, buy, sell, reviewing last week's buy, sell, starts of the week, talking about last week's starts of the week as well, our pick'ems, and then last but not least, rounding out our league and our fantasy football league, our main league, talking about the results there and the matchups going into this week. But just to start it off, going into the news, Curtis Samuel going to play his first game this year along with Rashad Bateman, wide receiver for the Baltimore Ravens, making his NFL debut against the Broncos. Russell Gage is out for week 4, and Richard Sherman, he just signed for Tampa Bay, I think like 2 days ago. He will be playing against New England in that Sunday night football game. Dalvin Cook, he should play on Sunday. You good, man?
When did Brandon send me this trade?
What's the trade?
Naeem Hines for Tyson Williams and Robbie Anderson?
All right, we got some breaking news in our league.
Breaking news, a trade has been accepted
There we go.
in our league. Oh, mother fricker.
All right, so, go ahead and break this down. Wait, what was the trade?
So pretty much, go ahead. I wanted to add another player that I think is going to be doing pretty good later in the season. Colin Johnson, who used to be an ex-Jags, now he's playing for the Giants. He played his first game and had 7 targets with the Giants, 5 receptions and over 50 yards. So I needed to clear up some space without just dropping a player. So I also still needed a backup running back in case one of my running backs get injured. So I traded Bryce, Tyson Williams, and added Robbie Anderson so I can open up a space on the bench for Naeem Hines. I feel like that's a pretty good trade for him, and it opens up a spot for me. No one really got robbed. I think it's solid.
I'll take Robbie Anderson.
Yeah.
Tyson.
Robbie Anderson has high upside. He could always do good. I'm starting to lose faith in him. But
My only thing with the losing Naeem Hines is that I have Jonathan Taylor, so that was kind of my... I picked him up this week as a handcuff, but, I picked him up 2 days ago. So I don't care about losing him.
Yeah, Brandon tried sending me that trade, but for Joshua Jacobs.
yeah, it's a little higher value.
Yeah, I'm in on Tyson. I've been trying to get Tyson, but I couldn't really figure out a price. There's no one on my team that I was willing to let go for what Brandon was wanting. And I would say Naeem Hines is a little bit cheaper than Josh Jacobs.
Yeah, for sure. I also sent the same trade for Mike Davis. Really, I was also just trying to get a running back in case one of them got injured. I'm not going to start the player I was trading for.
You really like Colin Johnson.
First game getting 7 targets in, it wasn't a high scoring game. I think it was 17 to 14.
Johnson.
He played for the Jags. He had great catches for the Jags, and then got over to the Giants. First game, he plays and does good.
I'm pretty sure he's like 6'6" or something. He went to school at Texas University. He was in that Danny Duncan video.
Oh, really?
When Danny went to Texas, he wore his uniform. All right. Gonna go ahead and resume our news. Dalvin Cook will play on Sunday most likely. Sterling Shepard and Darius Slayton are out. I think it's a fully guaranteed out. So Evan Ingram and Kenny G are really interesting to me. The Giants, I don't remember who they play. Who do the Giants play? The Giants play... Giants play at New Orleans. That kind of stinks. It's a good defense, but I still feel like Evan Ingram and Kenny G might get it done. We might talk about one of those guys later. Gronk this just happened like 30 minutes ago. He returned to practice, but he's listed as doubtful for the game, which is interesting. It's a homecoming for him, and as a Pats fan, I want to see him play, but it would suck to not see him play. But it's a weapon that they might not have, and it's not going to matter because the Patriots are going to win that game. Elijah Mitchell, shoulder injury. He's in doubt for week 4 versus Seattle. It's like a pain tolerance kind of thing. Kittle's not guaranteed to play week 4 with a calf injury that he's been dealing with since week 1. Last night, DJ Chark fractured his ankle on like the second play. Really unfortunate for him. Tyler Lockett did not practice on Thursday, and he's questionable for the game with a hip injury. But he went back into the game that he got hurt in. So I would assume that he plays, but it's kind of interesting that he's not practicing in full here later in the week. Both A.J. Brown and Julio Jones are out on Sunday. This is huge news for the Titans game and all of your Titans. I know Brandon was looking to capitalize on this and pick up someone in pretty much every league.
Yeah.
Who are you looking for? Like, are you confident in what's his name? Titans wide receiver? Do you remember their
I'm
names?
trying to remember his what was his name again? I gotta look this back up. It was some guy. It was a funky name. That's why I can't remember. Oh, it's right there. Nick Westbrook, Ike 9.
Ike 9.
I'm not really confident in it, but I mean, he does good. It's nice to have a guy that does good.
There's only one pass catcher available, so I mean, it's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to the Steelers section. The 3 wide receivers are all at different levels of playing or not playing. Deontay Johnson should play. Juju with rib injury, no designation as far as injury, I think is probably questionable. Chase Claypool did not practice on Friday, which is not a huge deal, but it's questionable for Sunday.
He practiced yesterday, though.
Resident Steelers fan will update us on the severity of these. I know that T.J. Watt doesn't have an injury designation, so he shouldn't be playing. And I do believe he's going against a third-string left tackle.
Aaron Rodgers is going to be running.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the injury report right now. Yeah, Juju was full. Deontay was full. And Chase did not practice, but he practiced yesterday. So that is kind of weird because he wasn't even on the injury report on Wednesday. But come Thursday, so I wonder if he got hurt during practice, and that's why it was limited, and then he didn't practice today.
Very interesting. Darrell Henderson should be playing on Sunday. Andy Dalton, quarterback for the Chicago Bears, is questionable for Sunday. It's going to be a game time decision. Matt Nagy
for Justin Fields too with his thumb.
Yeah. Matt Nagy hasn't named a starter, so really trouble in paradise there in Chicago. Yeah, definitely paradise. All right, so we're gonna move on to a new little section I decided to throw in here. I'm gonna have the boys try to guess this player. So yeah, this is the who am I section. So this player,
Okay. All right.
This player is a wide receiver.
All right.
Any guesses?
D.D. Westbrook.
Marquise Brown.
Nope. All right. And the next clue is that this player was the 5th wide receiver drafted in our league before DeAndre Hopkins, Keenan Allen, Terry McLaurin, and pretty much everyone else. Cooper Kupp, all of these guys. Drafted 5th overall in our league. Sniped me. I was probably going to pick this player.
Who would that be?
It's a wide receiver, and it was drafted 5th.
5th overall wide receiver.
Oh.
The number 5 wide receiver off the board.
Okay.
Any guesses?
Justin Jefferson.
No.
Not
That's
just
it?
Justin Jefferson was picked after Keenan Allen, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, they were really
Because I picked Keenan Allen, and then you went DeAndre Hopkins, Justin Jefferson. Stephon Diggs was the 2nd.
You have another clue?
Yeah.
All right. This player is currently the wide receiver 26.
A.J. Brown.
It's not A.J. Brown.
Calvin Ridley.
Calvin Ridley is
Let's
the
go.
answer. The next clues were he hasn't scored over 20 fantasy points this season. His quarterback is currently the quarterback 26 on this season.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And he's the alpha wide receiver on his team. Yeah, I just wanted to bring him up because Calvin Ridley has been really poor this year, and especially at that what I thought that he would be, and what a lot of fantasy managers thought that he would be, is the guy who was going to make that breakout once Julio left. But this offense is really struggling. Is it the scheme? Is it Matt Ryan being old and washed?
So the thing that is interesting still is he's getting plenty of targets. I'm
Yeah.
looking at it right now. First week, 8 targets. Second week, 10 targets. Third week, 11 targets. So, I mean, he's getting the production. I feel like it's the same situations going like Jacoby and stuff like that. Wide receivers like that, they're getting high target counts, but I mean, if the team can't score a touchdown.
Yeah, and like in his first 2 seasons, he was a big touchdown guy. Like Julio would get the yards, Calvin would get the touchdowns. And he had like 10 touchdowns his rookie year. But he only has 1 so far. I mean, to me, he's like a buy low candidate for me. Like I would maybe try and trade for him. But yeah, it's really interesting. This Falcons offense is not as good as we thought they would be going into the season. All right, moving on to buy or sell. Last week, I was 3-0. I was the king. Brandon was 2-1, and Bruce here was 1-2, and really 1-3 because he had a shotgun that he lost.
Yeah.
Lost a shotgun bet with Tyreek Hill.
Said he'd have over 130 yards.
It was a big line.
He did not.
It's a big
Pretty
line.
close.
Yeah.
What do you have, 80?
58, I think.
Yeah, just right on the line.
Yeah, 56. I bought it though. I bought 108 yards, but 130 was a little bit rich for my taste. All right, moving on to these new buy sells. Derrick Henry, he's going to be our first buy sell candidate, and this is going to be 150 total yards versus the New York Jets. I set this line very high because it is the Jets and it is Derrick Henry. So I'm going with a buy. I think that he's just going to go insane this week. The Jets' defense stinks. The Jets stink. Yeah, what do you guys think?
If he touches the ball 35 times, he will definitely have over 150 yards. Like in week 2 when he touched the ball, 41 times. How do you touch the ball 41 times? I feel like
Overtime helped, but
yes. And then 28 times last week, 31 times last week actually. So I mean, if he's having over 30 touches, yeah, easy.
I thought it was really interesting that in week 2 he had 41 touches, and if you watch that game, the Titans were down for a lot of that game, but they just kept running the ball. I think at one point they were down close to 20 points. They just kept giving the ball to Derrick Henry.
Yeah, I mean, I say sell. Just 150 is a lot of yards. Can you do it? Absolutely. I mean, it's Derrick Henry, like you said, he gets those touches. Just keeps ramming it. I mean, he could pause.
What do you mean by that?
Reach 150 very easily. I mean, just this, if they give him the ball that many times. But I think 150 is a little too high for me, so I'm saying sell.
Respect. Moving on to the next buy-sell candidate, it's DeAndre Hopkins. The line is 16 fantasy points. His projection in ESPN PPR is 16.3. Me personally, I'm going to sell this. D-Hop is dealing with a rib injury. I don't know if he's questionable or what his injury designation is, but I'm sure that it's not 100%. And also, I think the main reason why I'm selling this is Jalen Ramsey's shadow. They play the Rams, and Jalen Ramsey is really good at football.
I'm going to change my answer on that one now that I have the Jalen Ramsey. I forgot that's who they were playing. Yeah, I'm selling that one.
Yeah, I'm definitely selling too. I hate to say it, but I just don't think it's going to look very good for D-Hop this week.
What about 12 fantasy points?
Iffy, probably.
You'd buy 12?
I'm going to say sell still on that.
I'll buy 12.
I would buy 12 as well.
For me, I think he's, without a touchdown, he's going to be around 8. I mean, if he gets a touchdown, then yeah. But it's all just dependent on that for me for this week.
Yep. So we move the line to 12, which is 4 below his projection, but still, I mean, Jalen Ramsey's going to be a problem. I wouldn't be, 12 points for D-Hop doesn't sound like a lot, but I would still be surprised if he did that well and got 12. Might get a lucky touchdown. It's probably not going to be lucky, actually, because it's D-Hop, but All right, moving on to the next buy-sell question. Jonathan Taylor. This guy has not been what you wanted in draft, based on your draft capital that you spent on him. I think he's running back 27 or something, 29. But does Jonathan Taylor finish as a top 7 running back versus Miami?
I sure hope so. So I'm saying yes. Buy.
I'm buying it also.
I'm also a buy. Would you buy him as a top 5?
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
Where do you think he's going to finish?
Top 5.
Top 5?
Probably 5.
Top 4?
Probably not.
All right, we'll move it to 5. We'll move it to 5.
Yeah, I'm buying that.
I'm still buying. Brandon, you said sell?
Yep, I'm selling on that.
All right. Yeah, Miami's struggled. Gave up a lot of... You know what? We'll talk about him later. And by later, I mean right now. Starts of the week. So my running back, start of the week, is Jonathan Taylor. Just talked about him. He plays against Miami. He's the current running back 29. And Miami's given up a lot of big plays. Devin Singletary got like a 40 or 50-yard touchdown. And then they just gave up a massive performance from Peyton Barber. Peyton Barber, dude. I mean, Jonathan Taylor is better than Peyton Barber. Miami sucks. They stink against running backs. And Jonathan Taylor doesn't stink. I rest my case.
I agree with that. But my start of the week for running back is going to be Javonte Williams. I think this is the week where he takes over the RB1 role on his team. He's touchdowns. Got to get him against the Ravens. Yeah, that's who they're playing. Also, I think that there's something later about this, but Broncos are going to win this game. And they're going to do it with the run game.
I kind of feel that way as well. Did you pick him because of Melvin Gordon? I saw right before we got on. Melvin Gordon's questionable for Sunday with
I didn't know
ribs
that.
and leg injury.
Well, I didn't know that. Even more of a reason.
There you go. This could be the chance for him to take over and become the actual number 1.
Yeah, it's definitely possible. For me, I am going to go with one of the 49ers running back, depending on if Elijah Mitchell actually plays or not. I mean, if Elijah Mitchell plays, I'm rocking with him, but if he doesn't, Trey Sermon is going to be my start of the week if he doesn't play. And I'm doing that because they're playing the Seahawks. And every time I feel like we watch the Seahawks make a big play about like halfway or so through the game, lights up the field, big score, a lot of energy gets going on, and all of a sudden both teams just start scoring rapid fire. And I think that's what's going to happen with the running backs, at least for fantasy, and it's going to be great for them.
All right.
No way. Isaac set his lineup. He finally put Mike Williams in. I've asked him to trade like 2 or 3 times in our group chat, and he has not replied. So
Okay, stinks.
it's very annoying. Well, he's also the Javonte Williams owner. Let me see if he's starting him. He is, so.
All right, there we go. All right, the next position we will move to is the quarterbacks. I'm going with Aaron Rodgers. He's the current quarterback 22, and that's the only reason why I get to pick him, because he's really good at throwing the football. But he faces the Steelers, and we'll talk about what I think about the result of that game is going to be. But they're home. His previous finishes in week 1, he was the quarterback 35, then the 5, and then the 15 in week 3. Pittsburgh hasn't been able to be very healthy. Now they're getting a lot of their guys back, and also TJ Watt against a third-string left tackle doesn't sound too fun. I still think that Aaron Rodgers can shift his pass protection, and I think they'll be all right. They'll have a game plan to get TJ under control, I would hope, if the Packers have any sense of logic. But anyway, he's going to get it done, and he's going to be a top 10 quarterback this week for the second time this season.
I don't believe in any quarterback against the Steelers defense this year, so that's why I have Aaron Rodgers. I'm not starting Aaron Rodgers. I'm picking Matt Stafford over him. But my start of the week is Kirk Cousins against the Browns. I'm hoping that this will be a high-scoring game. I'm assuming a lot of ground game from the Browns and hopefully a lot of throwing to Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen from Kirk Cousins, so I'm expecting a big game from him.
Yeah, you can definitely see that. And I'm going to go with Mac Jones. It's kind of a send out there. They're playing the Bucks this week, and I just feel like Tom Brady and the Bucks and stuff, they get in close, high-scoring games and games that should not be close or high-scoring at all. I mean, they should blow them out of the water. Will it happen? I guess we'll see when they play, but I think it's going to be closer than we think for no reason at all. And Mac Jones is finally going to click something there and have a good near 20-point hopefully game. Has he gotten close to that? Not really. I mean, he's got 15, 7, and 11, but I mean, it's got to click eventually. He's a good quarterback, I say, and you know, these type of games, stuff just clicks for certain people, and it's just closer.
Yeah, I mean, we'll talk about this game later. We'll save that for later, man. All right, moving on to wide receivers. I'm calling my shot here. This is a guy who you spent a lot of draft capital on. You had a lot of faith in him, and it might have been tied to who their future quarterback is. He might not be playing this week, but I don't care what quarterback it's going to be. I'm going with Allen Robinson. He hasn't cared what quarterback it's going to be for his entire career. That's one of my reasonings. He's wide receiver number 68 this year. He plays against Detroit, who are, they are banged up at cornerback. I think that maybe 4 out of their top 5 corners are hurt, or at least they were last week, and I'm assuming it's fairly similar to that. Allen Robinson has stunk so far, but he's going to right the ship. I think he's going to have a top 24 result this week, top 24 performance. I believe in Allen Robinson.
Going on my start of the week, which is kind of going with my theme of what I think is going to happen on this game Sunday. My start of the week for wide receiver is Juju. Now, Deontay would be an iffy start for me because he's playing Jair Alexander, and he is going to be probably shadowing him most of the game because he's the wide receiver 1. But Juju, I think 4-yard slants over and over. He's going to keep getting the ball dumped off to him because the Steelers have no run game with that O-line. And I also expect a big game from Najee in the passing game like last week. But Juju plays like a running back a lot to where he doesn't juke, he runs through people, and he gets a bunch of extra 5 yards than what he should have gotten. So I think he's going to do that a lot this week and hopefully get a touchdown. 10 catches and a touchdown.
That's nice. That is nice.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and go with Jacoby Myers. Kind of leeching off what I say for Mac Jones in that game in general. I also want to mention Jacoby Myers has 29 targets in 3 games. They clearly like him quite a bit. Last game he had 14.
Yeah.
So, catches half of those targets, gets 60 yards and a touchdown. That's something I still kind of do, but...
What do you mean by that?
Pause. But, catches half of those targets and gets a touchdown at 50 yards. That's a good game right there. That's probably around 17, 18, something like that. So I think Jacoby's going to have a great game this week.
All right, moving on to tight ends. I'm going with Evan Ingram. He played his first game last week, but he only played 56% of this team's snaps. I expect that to go up, and especially when they're losing 2 of their top wide receivers. He's one of the 2 alpha targets left for the Giants. I guess 3 if you include Saquon. But I'm talking about Kenny G and him, Evan Ingram. They're playing at New Orleans, like we said earlier, which is not ideal. But the Giants are going to have to move the ball in this game, and I think that it's going to go through him and Kenny G whenever it's through the air. And I don't know. Saquon Barkley, I don't expect to have a very good game this week. I just watched the Pats, who apparently have one of the best offensive lines in the league. I haven't seen it. They could not run the ball against the Saints, and I expect more of that. Nice.
Yep, thanks, man. So going on to my side, I've got Kyle Pitts going against Washington. I think I've had him as a start of my week before, and he didn't do anything. This is the week. He's doing something this week. I hope that the Falcons' offense gets going. I hope that Calvin Ridley has a good game, and I hope that they get it done through the air to Kyle Pitts. So, yeah, that's my man this week.
I, myself, am going to go with Max Williams. He is the tight end for the Cardinals, and
This is a deep play.
yeah, it is a deep one. I mean,
I don't know who this guy is.
yeah, I mean, I really didn't know it either before I started doing some researching. But first week, I mean, only 1 target, no receptions, didn't score any points. Second week, he got 7 targets, 7 receptions, 94 yards. But I mean, it's probably not going to be repeated that much. But and then he had 3 targets and 3 receptions for 19 yards last week. But my thought process here is playing against the Rams. You have those good cornerbacks and stuff on those receivers. And also Aaron Donald chasing after Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray's going to do his thing, start scrambling, and see this tight end just kind of running a little 5 yards down the field, open, pass. Not much yards, but just whenever they need to get it down the field a little bit, he's going to find him for the tight end and get quite a bit of receptions.
Explanation on Jared Cook last week, I think. How did Jared Cook do?
I think only like 7 or 8.
Jared Cook last week, 4.7.
Yeah.
Man.
But no, those weren't
Next.
receptions. No, those weren't. Because I was saying that they're going to have to throw the ball quite a bit trying to come back against the Chiefs, which they didn't have to come back
Yeah,
against
no,
the
they
Chiefs.
were in control of that game for
Yeah.
a lot of it. All right, moving on to our pick'ems. So, first, well, go over our records last week. Brandon, we'll talk about the records last week.
Oh, okay. So these guys over here went 4 for 4. I mean, 500. That ain't too bad. Ain't too bad. I went 7 for 1. Yeah, pretty good. Pretty good. I mean, it was the one I missed was the Chiefs. I mean, I'm never gonna bet against the Chiefs, even if they keep losing. I'm still gonna say Chiefs, but that's my one loss.
Yeah. All right. So Brandon currently leads at 10-5. Bruce at 8-7, and myself at 6-9.
Nice.
First game: the Detroit Lions 0-3 at the Chicago Bears, who are 1-2, and they are 3-point favorites as well. But that doesn't matter to me. I'm going with Detroit. They've actually looked really good this year. I mean, really surprising. I thought that they would absolutely stink, and they don't absolutely stink. They only kind of stink. But the Bears also stink a lot, so I'm going with the Lions.
Yeah, with the Bears not knowing who's starting quarterback on Sunday, I have the Detroit Lions. They're finally going to get their first win.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I mean, the Lions have looked a lot better offensively than I thought they were going to look, and Chicago's kind of looking a little rough right now. So, yeah.
All right, next game, the 3-0 Carolina Panthers, which is insane, but they also haven't played anyone, are going to Dallas to play the Cowboys, who are 2-1, and the Cowboys are 4.5-point favorites, which I thought was pretty interesting. 4.5 points is quite a bit of points, but I'm still going to pick Dallas to win, and a little sprinkle in of the Carolina Panthers to cover. I think they cover 4.5 for sure.
I think Dallas is going to win by a lot.
Did we all just pick the same teams?
I didn't have one chosen until I just got on it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going Dallas on this one. I mean, I was thinking Carolina, but with, Chris McCaffrey out, definitely going to go with Dallas now.
I want to pick Carolina to change, but all right. The next game is the Kansas City Chiefs, the losing record Kansas City Chiefs. They stink, but they're 7-point favorites going to Philly, who are also 1-2. I'm gonna say Kansas City wins this game, but I think it's gonna actually be a lot closer than we think. Quick little shout out to starts of the week. Jalen Hurts is gonna be one of your starts of the week as well. Kansas City is poor on defense so far. I've heard people calling for Steve Spagnuolo's head, the defensive coordinator, for the Chiefs. And we just saw on Monday night that Jalen Hurts, he played, I think we all can agree that he did not play very well. He played pretty bad.
Yeah.
He was quarterback 10 in fantasy. That's all you need to know. He can play bad and still be a quarterback 1. But with that being said, Kansas City wins this game, I think.
I'm saying Kansas City wins this game, but I'm going to have to agree with him on that, or disagree with him on that. They're
Really?
going to win by a lot.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. They're pissed off. They're 1-2. Everyone is scoring a touchdown on that offense. Offensive line, touchdown. Doesn't matter.
Every single one.
D-line, touchdown. They're going to run one of those plays.
I'm going definitely Chiefs. Like I said, I'm going to go with the Chiefs every time. That team's incredible. I mean, that offense is unstoppable when it wants to be. So, yeah, Chiefs.
Welcome back to the podcast. We've got Arizona at the Los Angeles Rams. What are we thinking here?
Both 3-0 teams. Rams favored by 4 points at home. What do you think?
Yeah, the Rams are winning this game. I mean,
This-
the Rams are great.
This one is going to be a close game, though, I think.
I
Which,
agree.
actually, no, okay, never mind. I'm not going to say that. I was going to change my DeAndre Hopkins thing, but I'm not going to. No. I think it's going to be a good game. Anyway, but it'll be close.
All right. We've all picked the same teams for the past 3 games, so I'm gonna switch here. Arizona might be able to. They might be able to win this game. I mean, it's a divisional game, 2 3-0 teams. I could see it happening. Arizona's been really good, really electric to watch. This is gonna be a fun game to watch in a 3:00 afternoon window. I'm so sorry for touching my leg, bro. Yeah. You get in on that? All right. Next game that we are picking is the 2-1 Baltimore Ravens going to Denver to play the undefeated Broncos. This game is even. I don't think that any team is favored by any points, so I'm going to go with Denver. I think that Denver, they're not legit, but it's hard to go into Denver and win. And I think they're serviceable enough, and that defense is going to cause a lot of problems for Lamar and the Ravens.
Yeah, Denver's going to win this one. Like I said earlier, run game's going to get going. Hopefully, Cortland Sutton can also get his first touchdown of the season. That'll be nice. And, yeah, Denver's going to win this game.
Yeah, I can definitely see you guys' points, but I'm going to go with Baltimore. Baltimore Ravens are going to win this game. I mean, I still think that team can explode sometimes. If it just clicks, it can be an unstoppable team. I mean, it's got a good defense, it's got a good offense. But, I mean, sometimes they just play really poor. We'll see which type of Ravens we get that day, but I think Baltimore's going to win this game.
Depends on what type of Lamar shows up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if Marquise Brown can catch 3 deep balls that all should have been touchdowns. That
Bro,
was
he could have had a huge fantasy
massive
football game.
day. I mean, they were all touchdowns, I think.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It just sucks.
I think three touchdowns.
Yeah. But I'm kind of glad that he did because, I mean, we got to watch an awesome kick. I mean, we were watching that game. Literally, the ball goes up, bounces off the crossbar. I stood up and was like, oh my God, and it goes through and like we all just erupted.
Yeah.
It was fucking awesome
See,
to
I don't know
watch.
if I was blind. When I first watched it, I thought he was so short, he bounced off the ground, and then bounced off. I was like,
I thought
wow.
that it bounced off the crossbar and came back and didn't go in.
Yeah.
And then I saw it like the net ripple and I was like,
Yeah.
whoa.
That was awesome. It was electric, dude. I mean, it was electric. All right, Bruce. This is your team. Intro this one.
So, my thinking here is it is such a Steelers thing to win in Buffalo, lose at home 2 games in a row. I don't like the Raiders. I don't think they're that good. They shouldn't be. Are they still undefeated?
Mm-hmm.
They shouldn't be undefeated. Who did we lose to? Bengals. Yeah, they aren't that good either. They should have won that game. Had they had TJ, they would have won that game. But they're going to go into Green Bay and they're going to win. I just have a gut feeling for some reason that they're going to be 2-2 after this week and go into Denver with a win, or Green Bay with a win.
Green Bay is 6.5 point favorites.
It's going to be a close game.
It's a lot of points.
And like I said, I think the Steelers' offense is going to be rolling. So,
See, I have that feeling almost every week with Big Ben. I feel like he can just sling the thing, and then he just doesn't.
He can't.
And then he just sucks.
Also,
this week he will.
Also in the news, we didn't bring this up, but Ben has been dealing with a pec issue, his left pec. And Ian Rappaport just went on to Pat McAfee's show today, and he said that he's been dealing with a lot of pain. So, I mean, I don't know, Big Ben, it'll be time to retire.
He's soft.
Yeah.
I think it's time to take him out to the pasture and
Look at the flowers.
Tell him to look at the flowers and think of the rabbits. And
Yeah.
all right, the Packers are winning this game. I think that the Packers are winning this game. as I said before, third string left tackle is going to be a problem, but Packers are winning.
I mean, yeah, it's Packers against Pittsburgh. I mean,
At home.
yeah, I'm going Packers for sure on this one. I mean, it could be a cold take that we can see in a week from now, me talking like this for the Packers, but I'm going with the Packers.
Hey, for some reason, the Steelers play really good as underdogs. So last season, no one thought that they would be good at all. And I know no one still thinks that they were good, but half the game, they weren't supposed to do what they did, and they still did. So I think they were underdogs going into Buffalo. They were supposed to win the last 2 games. They didn't. They're underdogs going into Green Bay. They're going to pull out a win.
Yeah, we talk about this a lot. They play to the level of their opponent very
Yeah.
often.
Yeah.
Should be a decent game to watch in the afternoon window. I've been a little bit sad all week. The reasoning is because of the Sunday night game. I get to see New England play at home, who are 1-2, who kind of fucking stink.
Yeah.
And they play Tampa Bay, the Buccaneers, who are 2-1, who just lost, and now they're pissed. And then now Tom Brady, leader of the team, is coming back, and then so is Gronk most likely, and then Antonio Brown is coming back.
Pretty sure Gronk is doubtful, by the way.
Yeah, he is doubtful, but he's gonna play. I mean, come on. You think that Gronk is gonna be like, I gotta play against this Bill Belichick guy who I don't really like? Yeah, I'm gonna fucking kill him. Yeah, so with blind faith, I'm picking New England to win this game, and I wrote down in the doc in parentheses that TB will shit on us, and I'm just now realizing that means Tampa Bay and Tom Brady. So I mean,
I thought you meant Tampa Bay on there at first.
No, when I was reading it, I was like, I meant Tampa Bay, but yeah, that's all I have to say. I'd love for this week to be over as soon as possible.
Yeah, Tampa's going to steamroll the Patriots. It's going to be a pretty embarrassing
It's
game.
going to be 50 plus.
For the Pats.
The line for this should be 28.
Yeah, it opened at 5.5, I believe, and it's been slowly building up.
Yeah.
I think I saw something. It was in the 90%, like
Oh,
96%
like public money?
of just people betting. It was on Brady
Tampa.
in Tampa. 96%. And as I saw a bunch of people saying, like,
But hey, there's a reason why Las Vegas has those
Yeah.
expensive chandeliers.
yeah, I was saying, I mean, maybe they know something we don't, and they're playing something along because Vegas is not going to want to lose that much money.
They don't like losing money.
Yeah, so, but I mean, TV squared out here, they're going to fucking.
Fuck us. Our asses are open and ready to be railed.
I feel like they should, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think they're going to win, but I feel like they should absolutely rail you guys, but I think they're still going to win the game.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Alright. Okay, so this Monday night game, we'll get to really see if the Raiders are legit. They're playing against the Chargers in LA, who are 3-point favorites. And the Chargers are legit. They're a great team. It was really interesting to hear Austin Eckler talk on Pat McAfee's show this week. You could just tell how juiced he was about. I mean, he was just juiced. Like, he was just really excited. Like, you could tell that winning with that team is just a lot of fun, and they're just having a lot of fun out there. So I'm taking the Chargers, man. Love the Chargers. Love Herbert. Love Eckler. Love Mike Williams. Love Keenan Allen. Defense seems to make some stops because, I mean, that Derek Carr guy is making some plays, but this might be where the Raiders' fairy tale season is finished already.
The Chargers are going to win this game. Not much of a doubt in my mind that the Raiders have a chance. So,
I was thinking about this. We've been watching the Raiders, and they kind of just get these plays. They just switch around, and it's very lucky for them. Like Lamar Jackson's fumble and stuff like that. I mean, they just moved to Las Vegas, and everything just starts going their way. I mean, it's a little. Luck's their way in Vegas, but they're not in Vegas today or this weekend. But
making a deal with the devil.
Yeah, I'm still going to go Raiders. They somehow win these games that I don't think they're going to win, and I think it's going to keep going for this week at least.
All right, those were our pick'ems. Lock those in, parlay that. You will probably win $1.8 million with a $10 bet.
Yep.
Pick mine because I will win every single one. Moving on to our fantasy football league. Is our 8-man? Yeah. 8-man PPR league. I'll kick it off with my matchup. 0-3 versus 0-3. Playing Luke. Not feeling good this week. I mean, I felt good going into it, and then Thursday night he had Jamar Chase and James Robinson put up very good numbers. I'm already down 34.5. I'm really having some trouble. All right, I need some help with my lineup, boys.
All right. Yeah.
All right, so I don't know what to do with my flex positions, really. I mean, it's really down to Miles Sanders, Corey Davis, Devonta Smith, or Trey Sermon. If Elijah Mitchell's out,
I think
feel like
I feel like if Elijah's out, I would play Trey, but I think I'd still rock with Miles Sanders if Elijah plays.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like the game with the Eagles and the Chiefs is going to be close, but Miles Sanders just had a game of 3 touches, which was it was stupid and didn't make any sense. 5 touches. That's dumb. I don't know why they did that. And Kansas City sucks through the air. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't like Corey Davis in my lineup, but we're rocking with it right now. Not feeling too confident. I think 0-4 is on the horizon. Not feeling very good about it.
Hey, you never know, man.
Yeah, you never know. I'm just going to go ahead and get this one out of the way. Cooper versus Zach. Zach's 3-0. Cooper is 2-1. I see Zach winning this game because Cooper probably, George Kittle might be out and Julio Jones are going to be out. So, I mean, might not set his lineup. All right.
So my matchup this week is by the surprisingly 2-1 Wyatt team because last year, I mean, awful, terrible team, worst team by far.
The team stunk.
Yeah, and he's got 2 wins already. That might be more than he had last year. I don't know, but I'm 1-2, and I have to play against Alvin. And I don't have a good track record going against Alvin. We're not going to talk any further about Alvin. But other than that, he has Chase Claypool still in his lineup, who is actually projected 0. So they must know something that we don't. I guess Chase Claypool is not on track to play.
Yep.
My only question on my lineup this week is Elijah Mitchell. If he doesn't play, I think I'm going to go with Brandon Ayuk or Hunter Renfrow, maybe. I don't know. I guess I will see on Sunday before the game. But, yeah, I have some confidence about this game. He has Joe Mixon, didn't start him. For some reason, that was a good idea because he only got 13.7 of his projected 19.8. So, Wyatt's planning something. I don't know what he's planning. He's building something.
So, mine, I am playing Isaac this week, and I mean, like I said, Isaac finally set up his team with Mike Williams in there. So, hey, anything can happen. He has Lamar and stuff, but his team set up, he's only projected 127.9. I'm projected 145 now after I made a piss poor decision with Marvin Jones. That was kind of rough. Tyler Boyd's on my bench. He scored 20.8 when Marvin scored 5.4. But I'll be honest, I wasn't really looking at Tyler Boyd that much. I'm kind of looking at Jacoby, where if I was going to set him in there. Still deciding whether Jacoby or DeAndre Hopkins. I mean, hearing myself say the first week of the season, I'm like, what the hell is this guy on? But now it's still a little bit of a stretch, but I just have a feeling. And sometimes those feelings can help you win those games here. But, I mean...
You don't do a shotgun bet?
Shotgun bet who's going to score more?
Who do you want?
You know what? Fuck it. Since if I lose the game, fuck it. I'm putting in Jacoby, and I'm saying Jacoby scored more.
I'll take D-Hop. I'll take a shotgun bet on that.
All right.
Yeah, D-Hop. I think you got D-Hop scoring more than Jacoby. All right.
Got
a shotgun bet.
So I switched up my team a little bit just now there, and I mean, it dropped my projection just by like 2. So, I mean, it's not too crazy. And I'm 3-0, and what is that, Isaac? 1-2. So he's got a win in there. Win in the books.
Better than me.
I also have a question, Brandon. If you are so confident in Jacoby Myers, why didn't you just start him instead of Marvin Jones? Like, what was the thought process in Marvin Jones?
I really liked Marvin too against the Bengals.
So you thought that Marvin Jones was going to score more than DeAndre Hopkins this week too?
Yeah. That didn't work.
If A equals B equals C, then A.
Yeah,
this guy.
Yeah.
I mean, I just didn't see that week from Marvin coming, especially against. He got 3 targets with Chark getting sent out right at the beginning of the game.
Yeah,
That was wild that
it
happened.
was just LaVisca.
Yeah.
LaVisca had a game.
I mean, looking at the last 3 weeks for Marvin, he had 9 targets, 11 targets, 8 targets. With Chark and all of them still there and healthy. Chark goes out at the beginning of the game and he gets 3 targets? What happened? I mean, it wasn't like they weren't winning by a bunch and they had to force, run it, drain the clock. It was just a regular game. And I mean, actually they were coming back in a lot of the games before, so they were slinging it. But still, didn't expect that. And took an L on that, but we'll never know what's going to go happen with the rest of my team. I might go crazy, go ham, go stupid. So we'll see.
Yep. All right. So that's everything that we have. Thank you very much for watching this 22nd episode of Fantasy Football Show. Have a great day. Peace and love. Love you.
Love you.
See you guys.